Hello, it's David Allen and you are watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so first of all, I want to apologise for the lack of videos of the last few days. You guys know I usually average about 3, sometimes 4 videos a day. But over the last few days, I've been slacking a little bit. Man flu, the worst ever, right? Hey, listen, feel free to give me some sympathy. But I'm coming to the end of it. I'm still not over it, but I need to make some videos for you guys, keep you all updated with the goings on in the world of boxing. So Tyson Fury had a sit-down chat with BT Sport. And I'll put an article to this one in the description box for you guys to go have a read for yourself. And within this one, he says he doesn't believe that a fight between himself and Anthony Joshua will ever happen. And this is what Tyson Fury had to say. I've already beaten Wilder, so that's one down. And I'll do the same to Joshua if given the chance. But I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry to disappoint the sports fans. Joshua, even with 2 hammers in each hand, could never beat Tyson Fury. And they know it. They know that. They're not silly. It's a business as well, so they're not going to take the fight, simple as. They may say they're going to take the fight. They may talk about it, but then they'll fight somebody else like they keep doing. But that fight ain't going to happen. I'm not holding my breath at all. Tyson Fury statement. So, I mean, if Anthony Joshua had 2 hammers in each hand, that'd be quite a difficult thing. If 1 hammer in each hand, who knows? But I get what he's saying. He's saying that on Joshua's best day, he could never defeat Tyson Fury. That's what he's saying. Okay, and again, maybe he's right. Maybe he's not. We don't know. But one thing to look at just on that particular point, if Deontay Wilder, who has far less boxing skill and boxing savvy and IQ than Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua who hits just as hard, if Deontay Wilder could drop Tyson Fury to the canvas on 2 occasions, I would pretty much guess that Anthony Joshua could also. But at the same time, that version of Tyson Fury was not the best version of Tyson Fury. We know that. This is why Deontay Wilder took the fight. And he's right when he says that he's already beaten him. He has beaten him. He just didn't get the decision for whatever reason it may be. But for him to say that the fight between him and Joshua will never happen, listen, of course it will happen. The only way it won't happen is if one of these guys take a loss or 2 in a short succession. That's the only way this fight is not going to happen. But also, don't forget that Tyson Fury has a promoter in Frank Warren who said that it should be 50-50 split across the broadcasting network, Sky, BT Sport. Listen, as a fan, we don't particularly care, do we, how much that these fighters get paid? And we don't care which platform it's going to be on, whether you've got Sky, whether you've got BT Sport, or whether you don't have either. You always have the option on your TV to click the red button and purchase, no matter which one it's on. So do we care if it's on Sky or BT Sport? No. Okay? But when it comes down to the 50-50 talk, listen, as I said, we don't particularly care how much fighters get paid, but we know it's always a contract killer when it comes down to financials, because, as Tyson Fury says, it is a business. And for Frank Warren to say 50-50 and pretty much no fight, and it's a no-brainer, it's a 50-50, as I said, listen, if Tyson Fury didn't get 50-50 against Deontay Wilder and had to travel to America to fight Wilder, why should he get 50-50 to fight Joshua? It makes no logical sense. Even the most hardcore Tyson Fury fans can surely see that. But anyway, it is what it is. But of course, he is saying that this fight's never going to happen because he believes that although Eddie Hearn, Joshua may talk up the fight, they may even sit down and discuss the fight with Frank Warren and himself. But when it comes down to signing the contract, he believes that they won't do it and they'll go fight somebody else, as they always have done. Which is a bit of an odd thing to say, as a fight between himself and Anthony Joshua has never been discussed. So it's not like he's been in this situation before and then Joshua went and fought somebody else. It's just not that way. Unless, of course, he's referring to the whole Deontay Wilder situation. Well, it was actually Wilder who opted to fight somebody else. He opted to fight you, Tyson, because he believed that you were the weak link. The name on his resume that he needed, and it come along with lineal that he believed trumped all others. And he got gifted a draw. So it was actually Wilder who ducked that fight. We've been through this 100 times. We've shown you 100 times that it was Wilder who ducked the fight. But Tyson Fury is never going to admit that, even if he knows that. I mean, listen, of course he knows that. But it's a case of Joshua's my rival, I ain't going to give him props. Because on the flip side of it, he does praise Joshua as well at times. Okay, now, again, don't forget, it was actually Tyson Fury that predicted that when Anthony Joshua was in the ABAs, that Joshua will go on to become a heavyweight dominant force. He predicted all this, and now Joshua's doing it. Tyson Fury don't seem to like it. Listen, it's rivalry. It is what it is. But will this fight ever happen? Of course it will. It just means that, for me, it's a case of Deontay Wilder is Anthony Joshua's number one priority. That's why they haven't reached out to Team Wilder so far. Sorry, Team Fury so far, which is a bit of an odd one in some ways. I understand why he wants to go after Wilder, because he's got the belt. He's got the WBC belt. Tyson Fury has a fictitious title. Lineal is fictitious, whether you believe he's lineal or whether you don't. It is a fictitious title. There's no physical belt for it. There's no physical anything for it. You don't need lineal to be undisputed. You just don't. You need 4 of the main sanctioning bodies. Joshua has 3 of those. So that's why he wants Wilder first. And as he said after the Dillian Whyte-Derek Chisora fight, when he stood up there on the apron and in the punching talk afterwards, he said that Deontay Wilder is my priority. If I can't get Wilder, then Tyson Fury. If I can't get Tyson Fury, then Dillian Whyte. But it does seem that, yes, okay, he's done everything that he can to try and make the Wilder fight. Wilder said, doesn't matter how much money's on offer, I ain't taking it. Listen, it's a blatant duck. Okay, but at the same time, I understand Deontay Wilder has a draw on his record and he wants to rectify that. Again, I can't dislike that. Okay, that's, for me, that's what all fighters should do. If you get a loss or a draw, you should try and redeem that. And that's what you want to do straight away. So good on Wilder for that one particular point. But it does seem that Joshua, while he's been trying to make the Wilder fight and he's just been hitting brick walls with it, in his own words, Tyson Fury is next priority. But he hasn't reached out to Tyson Fury. Not at all. In fact, he skipped Tyson Fury and made an offer to Dillian Whyte. A lowball offer, offered Dillian Whyte less than what he made against Derek Chisora. And yes, I have been reading your comments where people say, well, Dillian Whyte should just take the fight. Doesn't matter how much money's on offer, he should just take the fight. Well, if you're going to say that, then you have to say that Anthony Joshua should just take 50-50 against Wilder, or take 40% because Wilder originally wanted 60%. You see, that's what you have to say. You see, you can't always say that Joshua should, whatever offer he gives out to people, they should accept. And I've consistently said this. Wilder is ducking him. Okay, Wilder did say it's not about money, it's about legacy, but he has ducked him. So for you to say that Dillian Whyte or anybody else should just accept an offer, then you should also say that Joshua should just accept whatever the terms are as well to get the undisputed. So you can't have it both ways, and I've consistently said this. But for me, listen, Joshua's not ducking any of them. That's my honest opinion. He's not ducking any of them. He will get in the ring with any one of them and be confident of beating them. And Anthony Joshua will give Tyson Fury far more work than what Wilder ever could. Because Joshua can knock out opponents with both hands. He can hurt you, he can slow you down, and he can outbox you. Wilder can't. He can stop you in your tracks with that big right hand, no doubt about it. And yes, arguably he does hit harder than Joshua. But Joshua can place those punches and set up those punches far better than what Deontay Wilder does. So when it comes down to Tyson Fury fighting Deontay Wilder, you could arguably say that he's ducking Joshua to fight Wilder. It's a bit of a stretch. I get it. Of course it is. Because at this stage, Tyson Fury should not be fighting either of these guys. And I said this when he first come back. When he was saying, I want to fight Joshua on my comeback. And I said, Joshua had better not accept this kind of thing. Because I want to see Joshua versus Tyson Fury when these guys are both at their best. This is why I was critical about Wilder fighting Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury was not at his best. Next time round, Tyson Fury will be a bit better. He still won't be at his best, but he'll be in much better physical condition, ring sharpness, all that kind of thing than what he was first time round. But anyway, for him to say that the fight will never happen, it will happen, but it does take. But again, it would be dependent on, does Tyson Fury have a belt or not? And the reason I say that is it's all about the business of the split. You can't say to Joshua, give me 50-50 when you're bringing nothing to the table. You're bringing no physical belt to the table. If you were to get that belt from Deontay Wilder, listen, it's a feasible argument 50-50, purely because Tyson Fury doesn't just have the belt, but he also has star power. He brings a huge fan base, a very loyal fan base. Wilder, he's just bringing a belt. That is it. He doesn't bring star power, he doesn't bring fans, he doesn't bring anything, he doesn't bring money. Wilder needs Tyson Fury. Wilder needs Joshua to be pay-per-view. Outside of that, there isn't a fighter in the world that could fight on American soil against Wilder pay-per-view. It just is how it is. So anyway, that is Tyson Fury's statement. Article in the description box. As always, go give it a read for yourself. Come to your own conclusions. As always, click the thumbs up on this video. Of course, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.